Hello, and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. And this episode is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to use the same board because, yeah, it's like getting close to the new year and the holidays, trying to do the holiday shopping, and I need to get more equipment for my physical therapy and my health and sanity and all that other stuff. And then the greeting cards, trying to get that ready, but that means I need to understand and know Etsy which, and then the photograph, test printing and the photos of the cards and the search engine optimization and the website for my novels, greeting cards, and other items, and then trying to have a YouTube episode every day. Yeah, it's a lot. And then other things too, whatever. So, since, yeah, I woke up this morning and part of me was just like, okay, I'm going to cook the Sunday dinner, and it's like I keep getting a little ahead with videos, then behind because I'm writing, and then I'm like, okay, I got to do videos, but then I have to write. And then also my children's books, my illustrator is still waiting for the next one. So, yeah, let's just say I'm behind. And I know some people I know tell me that I'm working on too many things at the same time. If you've listened to these videos, you will already notice how I was delayed and stopped majority of my life. And so I feel like I have a lot of catching up to do. I am now able to do or work on my goals and work on things that have always been on my mind. So, okay, this has been on my mind lately because some of you know, again, like with my dating nightmares and stuff, I've shown you about my dating standards. And it's just crazy. It's just funny because throughout the 2 years, yeah, well, it's been over 2 years, but it's like having all of those dating requirements. It's been 2 years, but especially Republican, yeah, it's like that's been a while. But it's just so crazy and funny how men, especially Republican men, they kept calling me stupid, an idiot, the R word, ridiculous, and just, oh, you're a woman, you don't know any better. You're thinking emotionally. Oh, you don't understand. If a man chooses you, that's who you're supposed to end up with. It's like if since I want to date you, or if I want to date you, it's like you're supposed to start learning from me and understanding my views, my viewpoint. I have actually had men tell me this, especially during for COVID, and yeah, so especially since I never met them, it was easy to block them. And during streaming, sometimes even on my profile, people can go on and chat, like see what I'm about, and I say that I'm a liberal democrat progressive. And then Republicans, they see that, but then they literally come into my stream just to try to troll and bully or call me a racist. And I laugh. It's like sometimes I mock them and tease them because it's like with some of my streams, I started putting a dictionary next to me because when they would call me certain things, I'm like, okay, let's look that up in the dictionary. Or they would say another word that was used in the wrong, like like in the wrong way, fashion. Yeah, it's like context, and it would just be crazy. And at the same time, with my standards, a lot of men, they kept putting me down, either with the political part or with the prison part. Do you know how many of these men that's been in prison are on these dating apps? And it's like nothing against you guys. Nothing against you guys. But the guys that I kept meeting that were in prison, I have realized I am not compatible. I am not compatible. And so it shows a lot when men get so sensitive. It's like they feel like I'm stabbing their ego to death. And I'm just like, no, I am one woman. And I am one woman trying to find one person that I am compatible with. I want someone who I can connect with, vibe with. It's like if something comes on the news that is political, we can talk about it. And we're not arguing or debating to the point where I think he is an absolute idiot and vice versa. And it, it's like I just don't get like, and then when men tell me politics don't matter, and there are so many apolitical men out there, but part of me just feels like after this election, when the prices may go up, when your neighbors might be deported, and when, if you have children, if your children are now told that they have to pray every day, because, like, I'm a Christian, but at the same time, freedom of religion, and some people don't practice a religion. And so I don't feel like that should be forced on. And it's really crazy because the Republicans, they say small government, but they small government unless we get to control your beliefs within our religion, the Christian religion. And that and so especially when a lot of these Republican men try to tell me I'm racist, anybody can be a Republican. My bishop and pastor are both Republicans. My bishop's been on so many Republican panels and discussions and stuff on cable and national TV and everything like that. It's like that's one reason why I make sure I keep my space. It's like I go to service, I listen to it, but I know to keep, like, especially when they start talking about the LGBTQ community and they start talking about some ignorance, I was just like, nope, this is his opinion. Like, no, no, keep going. Like, it's like, don't, like, pass go, like, just keep going, like, whatever, because yeah, it's like some of the things, especially some of the sexist things they say within the relationship, and because that's one reason why I have never been married. And but now I'm hearing from so many women, you should be thankful, don't get married. It's like your husband's just going to think of you as a mother figure that they can sleep with, that'll they can do all their fantasies, and that will clean up like their maid. And it's like you do not know how many women I keep hearing that from. And like over the last several years, like 'cause I remember when my ex, Mr. No Heart, threatened to break up with me because he, like, when we first started dating, he already knew that I wanted to adopt and foster. I wanted one or two of my own, but I want to adopt and foster. And he pretended he was okay with that, but he said, I don't want kids of my own. So at first I was like, okay. He was like, and he kept telling me, you're too old for that anyway. And part of me was just like, well, I'm not too old until menopause, but it's like he kept telling me to the point where I gave in, I gave up. And especially when he threatened to break up with me if I tried to adopt and foster, it's like, and like here, and it's like putting the two together. Like I told him about some of the things my mom did in my past. And that's how I remember he says, come over to my house and we can talk about it. We can discuss it. We can straighten this out. No, he had my stuff boxed and ready. So if I said that I was going to adopt and or foster, he just wanted to break up with me. He didn't care. He could have cared less. And so it was to a point where it was me saying, "Okay, never mind. Never mind. I'm sorry. I won't adopt and foster. I'll just help you out with your two daughters, even though the youngest one is an absolute nightmare and I can't stand her and I don't want to be anywhere near her." And it's like, if you guys have listened to the episodes, you already know. This is the one that literally her grandmother bought her this pretty, like, I won't say it's heavy, but for her age, it was a heavy red type of bicycle thing, but it was like it was a really thick version. I don't. It's like it's hard to explain it, but it's kind of like a bicycle, but not. But her older sister was having a slumber party. They were painting each other's nails, talking and stuff, and she wanted attention. But the father yelled down, "I was like, no, let the girls play. They're having a sleepover, blah blah blah." Next thing you know, this girl she grabs her own present, her present that her grandmother that, well, she, in my opinion, she's a no good bigot, because that this is the woman who told me the only reason I got into college is because I'm black. Yeah, that one. So do I feel bad that she wasted her money? Kind of karma. But anyway, she grabs this present paid by this woman and threw it at the wall. Threw it at the wall. It broke. That's how hard she threw this thing. And I'm like, this little like, I think she was only like in first grade, first or second grade or something. And I'm looking at her like, okay, she acting like she a mini Hulk. I don't know, like, what in the world? But anyway, it's like, oh, and I already told the story. I forgot which episode, but with gardening, I try to plant some flowers and stuff around the house for, like, just, you know, to like make the house a little bit like more colorful and pretty and things like that. And I thought, if I can do this with the girls, and I offered to do it with the youngest one, but she was like all having a fit. And then the dad got home, and then she told him that I didn't allow her when I did. But then when he told me to stop, to quit, I'm just like, don't talk to me like I'm your daughter. And so, yeah, let's just say we had a little conversation later that night, and it's like he still doesn't believe me, but it's crazy because even his oldest daughter told him, and it's like, and when the youngest daughter went and threw dirt in my face, but it's like he still believed his youngest daughter and not his oldest daughter and myself, even though it happened to me, and even though, like, why would I throw dirt in my own eyes? Why would I do that? That's dumb. And anyway, it's just, with men like that, it's a blessing that I never had a kid with him. My body, I guess, like, yeah, my body knew better in a way. So, but the only reason I wanted to get married is so I can have kids. And at my church, they teach that it's like you have to get married before you have kids. You're supposed, like, and so that was my plan. That was my goal. That's what I was trying to do. But I ended up dating Mr. Lockakey. That was like, and that was by force, literal mental abuse with how that relationship started. But then, like I've said in a lot of videos, domino effect. My mother told me, as long as you walk like that, no one's ever going to want you, love you, or marry you. So I thought that those were the type of guys I had to date. I thought I always had to settle down. I thought I would always have to lower my standards in order to find a decent man, because I thought I was not worth it anymore. Especially my walking was getting worse and worse. So the worse my walking got, the worse of a guy that I settled with. And then during COVID, when I had enough with Mr. No Heart, so I broke up with him. And he still tried to blame me for the breakup of the relationship. And he is one of the reasons, with my standards, they are what they are. He's never been in jail or prison or whatever, so I learned that from other guys, like from my past and after the breakup. But especially even politically, he's a Democrat, or he says he's a Democrat, but then sometimes he says some racist jokes, or when I have to correct him on some of his thoughts on race and like things like that. Yeah, he sounds a little like his mother. So then when I tell him that, and the time that he bragged that he never celebrated African American month, and he bragged about that with pride. If okay, African American people, okay, yeah. If you have a friend who brags about that, run. If they don't want to know about your history, their history, because it's American history, run. It's like, and it's crazy. I know people from other countries. I know Caucasian people from other countries who know more about African American history than even a lot of African Americans, because it's like, especially when it comes to like segregation and the Civil War and different things, like they know more. And I just learned about the history of Cadillac and why a lot of African American like people buy Cadillac, and how Cadillac almost ran, like got out of business. But it was because, like, well, and also, oh, the Great Depression. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I'll find a video. I'll see if I can find a video to share in um my main on the main page of the YouTube thing or whatever. I'll send a message thing on there, so check that out. But I was watching it and listening, and it was just like, why don't we learn about this in the classroom? Because like, I had a jerk of an ex-boyfriend who kept bragging about how he never learned about it. And then even like they're saying, yeah, we I can count on one hand how many people of color we had in all 12 grades at my school. And it was three people of color at his school. Well, and they were all in the same family. All in the same family. So when people try to talk to me about racism, and then when I have college students telling me racism is over, or when I have college students telling me that there's no more discrimination at jobs or at schools or anything, like it's like I have to hold in the laughter, because sometimes I'm just like, okay, okay, yeah, good for you, okay. And it's like, or even just racism period, like they don't think there's any more racism, when after this past election, it's like the KKK and all the hate groups were recruiting for new members. And then and they were marching, and they were like, part of me is wondering, like, when we have January 20th come, yeah, let's see the lot, like, yeah, I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of those guys cheering near the White House. And if not near the White House, they're probably planning it around the US. So it's like, I already know I'm going to be indoors on that day, but yeah, I'm making sure, like, I probably for the whole week, going to try to make sure I'm indoors as much as humanly possible. Because, yeah, my safety. And a lot of these guys out here on the dating apps, they get so like, the way that they try to tell me that there's no racism, the way that they try to put down while putting down black women, because it's like, if they don't match with me, because even with the investing, because, okay, one guy wrote me, and I'm just kind of like, how are you going to write somebody and you're going to put down that one of my standards is investing? That means I would want to make sure that that person maybe cares about their credit score, maybe cares about for their future in case of an emergency. And maybe I have had a terrible history of men who have no money. I remember a guy who invited me over to watch a movie, and he was like, "Yeah," I was like, I'm kind of hungry and like whatever." And then I get to the house because I'm like, "Oh yeah," I was like, maybe we can figure something out or something. But then he told me to get out my wallet, or because like he needed my money. He didn't have any money. I think he just wanted like, well, he wanted one thing, but then I was like, I think he knew that I was working my tush off, so he wanted me to feed him. And then Mr. No Heart, he would never help me out. The one time I needed the gas money, and then the time when my car was overheating after he broke my vehicle. Yeah, listen to that episode. It's like, Yeah, because even when it was overheating, when I called him to say I need some help, he told me to call my father. But then when his vehicle got repossessed, when his mother, his mother, the girl's grandmother, wanted to spend a week with them, he needed to borrow my car all of a sudden. When he needed to work overtime, but his vehicle wasn't working, he asked me if I would drive to his house to spend the night so that we get up and like he gets up in the morning to drive my car to his job, and then I'm stuck at his house. And he asked me to do that a few times. When he forgot to pay the light bill, when he needed to go up north to go camping because he needed to show himself to his family, but he didn't have enough money. And so it's like at one point I'm like, okay, you want to go see your family, okay, whatever. And I was just like, if you need me to go to the bank and and I was like, we'll sign something and you can just borrow money. No, I need you too. You need to come too. I was like, I don't like sticking around racism. I don't want to be around racists. He is like, and that's another thing. He never defended me. So when I write my list of standards, it's not just because it's like I need mental health. I need state of mind. So especially when it comes to politics, I have learned, yeah, I need to make sure that the guy I'm with is a Democrat, because if his family is Republican, I can't help that. But if they are, I need someone who's going to have my back, because the guy, Mr. No Heart, yeah, he says he's Democrat, but whenever his mother would say something racist, or especially compare me to Candace Owens, like, Candace Owens says there's no more racism. Candace Owens said it's your guys' fault. Candace Owens says that you guys just want to be ghetto. Candace Owens is like, okay, why don't you write Candace Owens? Because I didn't know if she was married yet. I found out after. But it's like, and she's married to a white guy anyway. So I was just like, why don't you write Candace Owens and give him, you know, Mr. No Heart's number, your son's number, and see if you can hook them up. Like, come on. It's like every time I come up to this city, you try to tell me what Candace Owens says, and that's all of the proof you've ever had is what she says or something from Fox News. But then when I give her proof and all this evidence, especially when I got pulled over by that police officer, it's my fault. And so with my dating standard of Republican and MAGA and all that stuff, it's like I need to make sure I find someone who, when someone's speaking nonsense, I need someone who understands me as a black woman. And some people are like, well, just date black men. Listen to my videos. Listen to my videos. I tried. But it's like when they say I'm not black enough, and especially when it comes to the investing, they they're more mad about the investing than the white man. Especially like a lot of black guys tell me investing is for white people, or I'm just trying to be white. Why am I trying to be too much? And then a lot of these guys, they ask me, well, how many cars do you have? How many vehicles do you have? Most vehicles depreciate. Most vehicles depreciate. And it's like if you need money like suddenly, or if you want your money to grow, or if you need to retire, if you get an injury or disability or anything like that, are you going to be able to gain money from your vehicle if you have to sell it or anything like that? So it's really annoying when men, especially, well, any man, yeah, I'll just say any man this time, tries to put me down for investing. And then some men, like, well, a lot of black men, but a lot of men try to tell me, I know you don't have investing. I know you don't have any money. I know you don't have 2 or 3 houses. And you know what? With the house thing, I don't yet. I don't yet. I'm working on my businesses, and I worked on my education, and with my disability and stuff, something I have to start over with. But I know one thing, while dating, while I was working, while I was trying to get my life together, I always try to make sure I had enough money for myself. And it's really annoying and frustrating with how many men they saw my hard work, and then a lot of them would just wait to borrow it from me or use me. Or yeah, Mr. Lock a Key is like, I remember like the second time he drove by, like he had to drop something at my house. He was never in the house because this is the guy who kept bragging to his friends that want, like when he comes over to meet my family, he wants it to be in the wintertime because he wants to be able to have a large jacket with big pockets so he can steal something from the house. And he kept saying like, so how old are your parents? It's like, how long would we have to wait till they die? And can you make sure that we're in the will that you have the house? And like he didn't understand. I'm like, okay, you're just, and it's crazy. His ex, or no, well, yeah, I think yeah, they're probably still married. It's like, it's like it's crazy how his now wife. It's like, because when I was trying to get my money back, she kept calling me the N word or whatever, and she didn't realize I broke up with him, but she blamed me for him never meeting my parents. She blamed me. And so with my standards, it's like I have gone through so much with men who don't know how to manage their money, or they don't know how to save their money for emergencies. And okay, if you enjoy 420, okay, yeah. But it's like maybe put a little, like do half and half, or at least put a certain amount in an account that you won't be able to touch, so it can grow, so it can like, so then maybe you can either work on saving for that house, or even if you want to go on a vacation. Because I keep hearing, especially with the whole dating thing and like stuff like that, when men hear that I am investing, I'm starting my businesses, they want to tell me, oh, so we can go on a cruise every year, oh, so we can go and say I can get this newer car, or I can. And I'm looking at them like, I'm investing. You leave the money in the account so it can grow. It's like if you take the money out, it's no longer growing. But then they get mad at me, or they tell me that I can replace it or put more in it. Especially when it's like, I remember this one guy told me, like with the cruises. And I'm just like, if I keep taking money out for cruises, then once I retire, once I want to retire and don't want to work anymore, I'm not going to have like, it's like, wow, really? But then a lot of these men, when I tell them about my business, which I've stopped now, I try to slow it down, because a lot of them try to boss me around or tell me how to run my own business, or try to tell me how to run something, and they can't even, like some of them can't even get a bank account because their credit's so low, or that they messed up so badly at their previous bank. But I don't know, it's just really annoying and frustrating because like I've semi-retired from dating. Sometimes I feel like I retired, but then I get messages and I'm like, okay, maybe, I don't know. But this past weekend, oh my gosh. I'll have the story time throughout the week, but when there are guys who are literally telling me that, it's like when I tell them that I love investing and things like that, and they're like, "Oh, well, I hope you love cooking more than investing," or I hope you love taking care of kids because, oh, I have 2 or 3 kids, so I'm gonna need some help with that. And it's like, oh, so if you like kids, that means it's like I can go out, and I'm just. Anyways, this is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too. And just, if you have standards, stick to them. And it's just crazy because after the election, now a lot of the women are kind of following suit. So I think that's one reason why the hate messages have slowed down a lot. Not completely, but a lot, because now they're seeing how other women are agreeing with my thoughts and opinions. So, but you guys have a great day. I will talk to you soon. But this is crazy. It's like the dating world right now is absolutely crazy.